Hey yo everybody, it's Joe Grotesque and I'm back again. Today I wanted to focus on something that was an idea I had quite some time ago. It's been ages since I've done any sort of top list, and I thought this would be the perfect subject matter to base one upon. So we're going to be focusing on my top 3 retro lady action figures. Certainly a top 20 or a top 10 could make for a more lengthy and interesting video, but I wanted to challenge myself a bit, so the criteria is a little weird. I want this to be focused around toy-centric figures, and by that I mean toys that were specifically made for the sake of selling toys, that maybe had animated shows to drive the sales of toys, but weren't something like Marvel or DC figures that were based around franchises that existed for decades prior. Also, in order to keep things retro, I wanted to keep the focus in years of everything from 1999 and prior. Now, even with that criteria consolidation, that still leaves quite a few awesome figures to choose from. And these are just my own personal top 3. And I'd like to invite you all to list your top 3 in the comments section or in a video response. Now, when I first came up with this idea, there were several ladies that popped into my head immediately, like Janine from The Real Ghostbusters, Chitara from Thundercats, and of course, Evelyn from Masters of the Universe. Surprisingly and unfortunately for some, I guess, these ladies didn't make the cut. Not that they didn't deserve to be on the list. So let's get things started with my number 3.
Number 3, Double Trouble.
So when I was a kid, the Princess of Power toy line was more so something my sister was into, but I always had an appreciation for it due to its direct connection with Masters of the Universe. Double Trouble here definitely is one of the more dynamic characters in said line because of her action feature. Let me apologize in advance for not being able to display her in her full glory, as she's supposed to have a cape, which I've managed to lose at some point. But even without it, she still looks great. So yeah, her action feature, which is very similar to that of Motu's Man-E-Faces, displays one of her defining characteristics as a double agent. On one hand, she has a calm, collected, more approachable looking face, but with the quick flip of the wheel on her back, she goes for a more sinister look. I honestly don't know which I prefer more, but of course both are necessary to pull off this gimmick. All I can say is I hold Double Trouble in high regard right alongside the best guys in the Masters of the Universe line.
Now this next one, for those of you that know me, might be surprised that this isn't my number 1, though she's certainly a fierce competitor for the spot. So here's number 2.
Number 2, April O'Neil, green jumpsuit.
Yeah, it's a given. April had to be on this list somewhere, but not just any April. The April wearing the green jumpsuit. She was only available if you purchased the Channel 6 news van. It has to be said, she looks great in green. Actually, this list is definitely showing my love for green. Everybody loves April. The original figure or the second 1990 version would have been good enough to be in this spot, but I think her green attire kicks things up a notch. Well, for me at least. She's a beauty. One of my favorite figures for sure. It's difficult to look at her without smiling. No action feature needed.
And now we work our way to the number 1 spot. I think this one's gonna surprise a few of you, but at the same rate, I don't think any of you will hold this against me. So, coming in at number 1.
Number 1, Granny Gross.
Granny Gross, the sexiest dame of them all. Yeah, so old Granny Gross here isn't just my favorite action figure that happens to be female, she's one of my favorite action figures of all time. It can be debated the main characters of the Real Ghostbusters line became almost secondary in popularity in comparison to the Ghosts and Monsters, and Granny here is strong ammunition in favor of that. I don't know what it is about an elderly woman that turns into a ravenous looking demon that does it for me. It just does. When I saw the commercial for the first time introducing her, it was one of those moments where I was just like, I have to have that. Sure, she's very limited in articulation, but her overall sculpt and her action feature are one of the coolest out of any figure in history, in my opinion.
And there you have it. I really want to know what you guys and gals' top 3 are, so feel free to share. As always, thanks so much for watching. I can't thank you enough. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe out there. Until next time, take care.